Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. Ronald Reagan said, "The most terrifying words in the English language are, 'I'm from the government and I'm here to help.'" The press is reporting today that climate change has caused the town of Las Vegas, New Mexico to burn up and run out of water. And all of the independent journalists use exactly the same words. The pressures of climate change show no signs of letting up. The pressures of climate change show no signs of letting up. The pressures of climate change show no signs of letting up. But if we look at the middle article, they say something very interesting. New Mexico City, victim of government burn. The fire was started by the U.S. government on April 6th. It was a government-prescribed fire on the Pecos, Las Vegas Ranger District of the Santa Fe National Forest. 40 years ago, I was a wilderness ranger for the U.S. Forest Service in that district. As is normally the case, the press didn't get anything correct about this story. The fire did not burn Las Vegas, New Mexico. It burned in the forested lands to the west in the mountains. Stream flow in the river which feeds their reservoir is much above normal for this day of year. Las Vegas, New Mexico has had historic amounts of rain over the last 2 months, somewhere around 14 inches. The reason Las Vegas is running short of water is because the fire started by the U.S. government contaminated their water supply. Las Vegas is in the process of installing a pre-treatment system to try to undo the damage done by the U.S. Forest Service. The problems which Las Vegas is facing aren't due to climate change or a shortage of water. The problem is that incompetence by the U.S. government caused their water supply to become contaminated. The 1980s, when I was working as a wilderness ranger west of Las Vegas, was possibly the wettest decade on record in New Mexico. I was camped out at this lake at 12,000 feet elevation. That summer, the snow never melted and the lake was still half covered with ice in mid-July. In April of that year, when the snow was 20 feet deep, I skied in 15 miles and camped down here. I tried skiing down this mountain on my cross-country skis. I made about 3 turns before I fell down and slid the next 1,000 feet down the mountain on my face. And I finally stopped my slide about 5 feet short of a huge boulder. I was lucky to escape that trip, and the following year Patrick Swayze was lucky to get out alive himself. They filmed the movie Red Dawn in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and he nearly got killed in a bar fight. And this is what Charlie Sheen looked like 40 years ago. In the movie, their school was invaded by the Russian and Cuban governments. But in the real world, it was the U.S. government which caused the problems for Las Vegas, not the Russians or Cubans. Every year, the global elites fly on their private jets to the World Economic Forum meeting. At their meetings, they figure out ways to generate propaganda to convince the little people that they need to be locked up in their homes. And apparently the best way to stop the U.S. government from burning up cities is through carbon taxes. No matter what the problem is, the press can be counted on to parrot the words climate change, climate change, climate change. I wonder who's paying them for this propaganda campaign. Toto's been pulling back the curtain on this clown show for the past 14 years. You can visit him, Kyrie Caesar, Toki and Upala on the web at realclimatescience.com.